What's going on? What's going on, everyone? What's going on? Okay, here we go. We're here. Sorry for the delay. I was on a conference call, but I had to let them know that I had to get to the people. If you can hear me, give me a one right now. Just give me a one. You can hear me, give me a one. I want to make sure the sound is coming in nice and clear. I want to make sure the sound is coming in nice and clear. All right. If you can hear me, give me a one. Okay, I see 12 in here. Okay, good. Whew, I'm sorry, guys. Keep you waiting. I'm sorry to keep you waiting, but we are finally here. Good morning, Bonita. Good morning. Good morning, Juanita. All right. All right. All right. So, as the title states in the description, I want to talk about this Jussie Smollett sentencing, as well as what happened with Ryan Coogler, and briefly talk about this debacle uh, that occurred with Chris Brown, and not on his end, but slightly on his end. And let's just get right into it. First off, uh, yesterday there was footage released that showed producer actor Ryan Coogler, who interestingly was the same director who directed Fruitville Station, where the young black man was killed by a cop in the subway station, uh, and also obviously Black Panther. He's a producer of Black Panther, where he's in Atlanta today working on the movie. So what happened, for those who don't know, is that he went into the Bank of America to withdraw $12,000 from his account. So I posted, or we posted two videos yesterday, one of the actual incident and two of the teller explaining to the cop why she felt it was necessary for her to call the police. Not the man didn't call the police; she actually called the police. As I reviewed some of the footage again today, she actually called the police and essentially told them that she felt that he was trying. He might have been a robber, trying to rob the bank. Now, what was missing in that whole story, in, to the cops or the initial 911 call, was that she failed to look match his driver's license up with his debit card, which he inserted into the machine and put his pin. What he said in the note was to be discreet about the transaction. Being discreet doesn't mean this is a stick up. Doesn't mean give me your money. Doesn't mean uh, your life is in jeopardy. It just said be discreet. And I have to say that I've gone to most of the time I go to the bank and I make a withdrawal. I ask them not to count the money out loud, not to broadcast what money I'm actually taking out of the bank. And why they do that, I still don't know. I think it would probably be easier for them to perhaps have a machine or some kind of monitor, a small monitor that is in eyesight of the teller, I mean of the customer, that pretty much has the amount that we're taking out, and then have the customer count the money out himself, him or herself, and see if it matches. But being discreet in a bank conducting business in Atlanta or anywhere else makes sense. And I still don't know why this young lady felt that being discreet was synonymous for this is a stick up. And looking at the videos, for those who looked at the video, you can look at the video because it's on the channel. I'm not going to play it here again, but the videos are there. We obtained it from the police department ourselves. You saw a story first broke on TMZ, and then obviously it grew legs. Uh, well, some things you do, you got to pay cash. Some things you have to pay cash, Tiffany. I'm not saying I damn rolling like that. I'm not saying I'm not rolling like that. But if you watch one of my IG stories, you might know. But what I thought was the way, here's the problem with that whole incident. Not just that she suggested that Mr. Coogler, Mr. Ryan Coogler, 35-year-old Hollywood director, not really 35 years old. I actually interviewed him almost 10 years ago in another movie with him. It was him, it was Michael, what's his name slipped my Michael B. Jordan. Interviewed him and Michael B. Jordan, and as well as the young lady that played in another movie. I think her name is Tisa. I want to say it's Tisa Thompson. Interviewed them at Revolt Music Conference. So he's done about, and his name ring bells. Like, who doesn't know who Ryan Coogler is? Like, a person of color that's doing big things in Hollywood. We know Tyler Perry. We know Ryan Glover. It's names that just kind of ring bells if you watch a lot of black movies. If you you're not watching black produced movies, or Manny Haley, or you're not watching movies that are produced by people of color. I don't know. But the other issue I saw is when the cops came into the bank. They came in with their guns drawn. Put yourself in that predicament for a second. Think about when you hear a gun come out the holster. Clearly, you as an African American, me as an African American man, I'm going to feel a certain way. I had a gun pulled out of me by a cop one time I was driving. He had his gun drawn. He had his gun drawn while talking to me. And I said to him, pretty much, this is years ago. I said, there's no need for you to have your gun out. I pose no threat. And my hands are on the steering wheel. But he says just for his protection. Well, I get it, your protection, but think about my protection as well. Think about what is going through my head as I see you with your gun out already. And if this is the way you're approaching citizens, then I don't know. It's just unfortunate that they felt the need. But he pulled the gun out. The cop pulled his gun out and puts it back in. The guy, the cop to his farthest from him, asked him, says, "Sir, can we talk to you for a second?" And the other guy pulls his gun out right away. Like it wasn't even a threat. If you look at Ryan's body language, he didn't jerk, he didn't act a motion for anything. He simply turned around and was trying to figure out what the hell was happening. And while Ryan did release a statement to Variety, basically saying that the bank and he and the bank have reached a amicable resolution to the issue. Well, that's fine for him, but that's probably not fine for a lot of people of color who go into a bank and try to make a withdrawal in their account. Because if I have my card, if I pull my card out and place it in and put my pin in there, uh, the banker or the teller should go through the necessary protocols to make sure that that's me taking it out. And when I take money out, they put me through the protocols. When I take out anything over 5,000, they put me. I go through the protocol as well. If I go to different branches, but if I go to my branch, it's a different conversation. They know me, and I appreciate that they take protocols, but she didn't take a protocol. She didn't follow the protocols. That's the problem. She said that once he pointed to the note and said, "Read it," something was going on in her stomach. Mind you, the woman was pregnant, but she said something was going on in her stomach. It was churning or something. She had a bad feeling in her stomach. But she never even read the man's ID to show the connection. And then when she looked at his photo ID, she could have said, "Mr. Coogler, can you remove your shade so we can match your face with the ID?" So that didn't happen. And I think that she has to be retrained. I said initially she should be fired, but she could have been new on the job and she didn't pay attention in the class. And maybe not firing her might be not good, especially she's pregnant and she's having a baby. Maybe a lot of things, hormones going. She could have been going through anything. And now that I think about it, initially my reaction was, yeah, fire her, get her out of here. But no, don't fire her. Teach her as a learning experience. Hopefully she'll go out and see some of his movies. Know who Ryan Coogler is. What I also know is that when the cops had took Ryan outside to their vehicle and then trying to pedigree him, see who he is, he never played I'm the director producer of Black Panther. He never played that card. And definitely he didn't play the Fruitville Station card either. Nor did he play the I want to say, was it Rocky? He didn't play none of those cards. What he did was he said, I'm working at a studio. Here's my ID. Because if anyone has been to Tyler Perry studio, which I have, you have to have credentials to get on the set. You have to to get on the property. He showed them that he was a producer. I don't think they realized who he was. Maybe somebody did. Maybe someone Googled him because he told them to Google him. But I don't think they knew who this man was. Now, was there an issue with him coming in the bank with a mask during COVID? No, he was supposed to wear a mask. Shades, he probably wore the shades so people wouldn't recognize him. Because think about walking in the bank, and I know what Ryan looks like. And I'm sure a lot of people know what Ryan looks like because of his high profile. So the shades made sense. I think what should have happened at the counter was that she asked him once he saw the ID and read the name on it, remove the shades. But she said when the cops asked her, "Did you match the ID up with his bank card?" She said, "Well, no, I was nervous at that point." So you screwed up. He didn't screw up. You screwed up. And people say, "Well, he should have walked in the bank with shades." Well, he's a very high profile person. And I guarantee you, I know a lot of celebrities that walk around Hollywood with shades on. So people can't recognize them. Why do you want to be walking down, why does a celebrity want to be walking down the street looking like Rihanna, but we don't know if it's really Rihanna because she has shades on? Right, because then you invite another type of situation. Now he's walking out the bank. They recognize who he is. He's Ryan Coogler, and he just pulled out $12,000 in Atlanta. Think about that. Yeah, so she didn't do her job. The calling of 911, and I didn't post. And I'm going to post the I don't know if everybody heard the 911 call, but I have the audio as well. I might repost that as well, and just look at what happened. Even the 911 operator didn't even ask the right questions. Did he have a gun? What did he do that make you felt that he was robbing the bank? At that point, when you pass a note to, and I do it. Well, I don't really write notes on the back of with my withdrawal slip. I just write the amount and I just hand it to them. But I just say, can you just not count it out? I may not use the word discreet, but I'd say not to count it out. Because look at me, I might be going to anyway, we won't talk about that. I'm pulling this money out maybe to pay people. Some people you just pay in cash. Some people you pay in cash or you do a certain business in cash. Transactions is instances where you need to do cash business. I don't know how long that's going to last. Especially when most recently President Biden signed an executive order for I guess a committee members of his cabinet to look at the whole Bitcoins and how they can possibly regulate it. Cash might not be an issue for some people. Yeah, it was a true debacle. I agree. But hey, hopefully she's learned a lesson. She didn't get fired. I know who she is. I'm not putting it out there. Hopefully she learns from it. And let's hope they don't fire her. And then I think should Ryan leave Bank of America? If he's going to leave Bank of America, leave it for other reasons. She was she was inexperienced. She was inexperienced. So yeah, don't leave Bank of America because, well, I don't know. I don't know. I don't feel too much sorry for Bank of America because sometimes they be hitting people with fees, unnecessary fees, and it's just kind of ridiculous. So I don't know. And I saw my one of my I guess colleagues, Lovely T, talk about it yesterday, and she was explaining that how banks don't like to release that size amount of money. Man, if Bank of America don't have 12,000 in their account, if they don't, they should have an operating cash of at least 100,000. Yeah, 100,000, absolutely. They should have an operating cash because people go in and cash their checks. Just think about it. They go in there and cash their checks on Friday or whatever day of the week you get paid, and they want cash. They don't want to transfer to another account. So at least 100,000. Banks operating under 100,000 is just ridiculous. And they by now, Bank of America knows how much they need just for payroll. To cover payroll in that area. So to say you don't have $12,000 or 15,000 on hand, or you had to first check it. No, I've pulled out over 10,000 in my account at one time or another. So I don't want to go to the bank and I'm pressing to buy a car. For example, buying a car, and I think I was making a purchase. You make purchases. Sometimes they don't want you to pay by card for whatever reason, check or whatever. So I get it. People need to have access to their money, and I'm like the commercial JG Wentworth. It's my money, and I need it now. If I can't get my money when I need to have it, and you guys are making money off my money, you're making interest, and I get it every day. You're making interest off my money, but it may come a time when I need to pull my money out. You gotta let me get my money out my account. That's it. But I also agree that the bank should make sure that you're not being you're not paying a ransom, so to speak. So yeah, they have cameras outside these banks, and yeah, sometimes bankers like to walk out, and the small banks, not big banks, they don't got time for that. They're not walking out the bank. You took 10,000, 12,000 out, and putting your business on Front Street. They're not doing that. So as far as Ryan Coogler's situation is concerned, I just think it should have been handled differently. And the APD that pulled his gun out, yeah, he probably should be fired. He should be fired. I will say that. You drew your gun on a man who didn't pose a threat. You didn't see any weapons. You had you had your backup there watching, but you put your initial reaction was to pull your gun out. Think about that. His initial reaction is to draw his gun down without assessing the situation. Now the question is, would this black man would have pulled the gun out on a white guy dressed similar that didn't pose a threat? You got to look at his body language. I have an issue with that. You can't say that, oh, he was protecting himself. No, he pulled his gun out and there was not a real threat there. And what I heard on the end part of the one of the first video was that this is how they teach them. This is how they teach them to react. And I get it; they want to go home to their family, and I get all that. But also, if say for example you pulled your gun out, just think about this: there were two cops initially who responded, and if another cop would have walked in the bank as you pulling your gun out, he would have pulled his gun out too, not thinking that the cop that pulled his gun out was overreacted, and he'll pull his gun out, and then you can have friendly fire, and other people got shot for what? For a man who's just trying to withdraw money from his account. Yeah, so I would just say that everyone would. I don't know. I'm blaming Ryan so much because he really. This is something he probably did a lot, and someone said he should have probably called into the bank and tell him he was coming. I don't like calling in, letting people know I'm gonna be there. I need to get a large sum of money either. I don't. That don't feel right with me either. I'm not saying the bank is going to try to set you up or someone unscrupulous, because there have been employees that have worked with banks that set up banks, and he could have got set up by one of the employees. I'm coming in to put 20,000 out. Please put it, just put it, pack, get it ready for me, or bring me to the back. Usually, bring you the customer to the back and going in. That might have worked as well. It's just, I don't know. We'll see. Okay, on to the next situation here with Chris Brown. We're going to talk about Chris Brown because Chris Brown's story is very interesting. Interesting in that the story was done, the lawsuit was reported, and a lot of people assumed that he did this just based on his past history with Rihanna and just some of the things he's dealt with in the past, and they automatically assumed that he probably did it. Yeah, lawsuit. You assume that there may be some credibility to it. Not no more. And when I saw the amount of the lawsuit, and I saw the fact that the alleged victim didn't file a police report so they can do their own independent investigation, I saw that was a problem already initially. And it was reported first on TMZ, the lawsuit, and then apparently his team decided that it was the time to release some proof to refute the lawsuit. Well, I saw the lawsuit to be a problem also when the lawyer representing the alleged victim went on the Blogger Lady's platform to talk about the lawsuit. Now, think about this. The Blogger Lady just lost a defamation case against rap star Cardi B. And the lawyer knows this, but she goes on the platform, on that particular platform, and talk about a sexual assault case worth $20 million that they're litigating. Just think about that for a second. Think about the type of attorney that would go on a blogger's website, not just any blogger, a blogger who proves not to be credible. And she tells her the story about this lawsuit and Chris Brown. Now, first of all, I would never hire that lawyer for anything. Would never hire for anything. And then I'm questioning the motivation and reason behind her going to that Blogger Lady's platform. And what is her end goal in working with the Blogger Lady? And I've known some things as well, some things that someone's brought to me, but I'm just kind of just falling back until it plays out. But the same attorney represented a rapper in Atlanta called Duty, where another woman claimed that he did something the unthinkable to her child. And I'm kind of following that story. I'm still looking at what's happening with that story, but I'm just thinking this attorney filed a lawsuit against this girl as well. The same attorney that represented the girl who accused Chris Brown of something, who since she's dropped the girl as a client. First of all, what due diligence did she do in order to substantiate the justification of filing a lawsuit? Now think about this. You file a lawsuit, but you don't do the homework. You didn't ask to see any communication between the two. That's one-on-one. you're supposed to, as the attorney, before you file a lawsuit, let's say, let me see what communication that you two had, so I can justify and should strategize on bringing a lawsuit to the courtroom. That wasn't done, and people should ask them a question: why wouldn't this attorney do that in vetting her client? That's why I saw it was a money grab. It was clearly a money grab. You got to ask yourself a question: what work was done to even make it appear that there's some credibility to this? You file a whole lawsuit. Most attorneys I know, they do the homework before they even go file a federal court suit in this situation. They do the homework. So there's something very sinister that occurred in this case. Notwithstanding, there were text messages, there were voice text messages that could have easily, to this case, it wouldn't even been a case to even litigate. But because there was, in my opinion, an effort to grab the bag, knowing like Chris Brown's past with Rihanna, that they said, okay, this is an easy money grab. Let's file a lawsuit to intimidate them to settle. And a lot of lawsuits are filed with the hopes that they will be settled before it gets in the courtroom. But there were problems with this. There were problems with the fact that Chris Brown hadn't spoken and people were running with it. And I get it. I get it. You know, he had to regroup with his team and figure out how to move forward in this case. And I'm going to look at a comment here. Right, right, absolutely. And I will tell you that I have, and I got to I did the interview with one of the cast, the producer for Black Ink Crew, Caesar, and he shared his story as well. So there are a lot of stories out there, and I just implore the people that are reporting on these lawsuits to do your homework. Do your homework and do due diligence before you automatically assume that the lawsuit proves that it actually happened, especially a multi-million-dollar lawsuit. And I would, if I was Chris Brown, I would definitely file a complaint with the Bar Association. I would file a complaint with the Bar Association, and I hope he does it. And he has good grounds to file a complaint with the Bar Association, because I will tell you that I've spoken to other attorneys, and they also agreed that a complaint should be filed with the Bar Association. And yes, there's another case that I'm also monitoring the outcome of, that this attorney is a part of. And I'm hearing some things that this other case she's handling might have some similar elements to it. And while I can't talk about it just yet, remember the date, which is today. And remember, I said there's another case out there that she has decided to take. And I want people to understand that you got to get over the threshold of a win, like to be able to see whether or not there are elements there to prove that this case has some merit. And this case shouldn't even been filed. This case should not have even been filed. And I know Chris want to sue her, but does she have any money? Clearly, she doesn't have any money, because she's trying to sue him for money. This will be a principal thing. I think while people can say, well, I want to sue this person, but do they have money? Who's going to spend more money in a case like this? Tina, you can just play the video back. We did speak on, no, we didn't speak on Jussie. We didn't speak on him yet. We're going to go to him in the last thing. But we talked about Ryan Coogler, and we're talking about Chris Brown now. But we have to be very careful about talking about file, sue him. Everybody said, let's sue him. Do y'all know what it costs for most cases to even go to a federal court? to litigate. Look, Cardi paid $1.3 million to get an outcome on a case that she might not even be able to collect on. You know, she might not be able to collect on. Because people know how to artfully hide their money. They know how to do this. If I had $4 million lawsuit, and I know that I'm in a deep hole, I'm gonna figure a way of getting out that hole. You know, I'm gonna figure a way to get out that hole. I mean, she had, bankruptcy, whatever. She has the right to do that. And I know people want to see, her pay her debt, but when you got $4 million on your neck, you're gonna try to get out of that situation. But this girl that accused Chris Brown of these awful acts is proven to be a liar. She's proven to be a liar. If you can prove someone's a liar without having to go through the distance, oh yeah, go the distance to prove that she's a liar. I know people. But again, I set president. This is not going to set president. This exposes another liar. They're just expose her as a liar. Go after the attorney? Yeah. You know why? Because that lawsuit would have never been filed if the attorney did her homework. So I would say go after the attorney. Watch this attorney. Watch the way she handles cases. Is she even a civil? From what I'm told, she's represented in entertainment. Is she a civil litigator? I'm hearing she's done all kind of different type of, I guess, in legal areas, but what is a specialty? So yeah, I would go. Well, let me read that, Tina. I want to see. Oh, right. Uh, I had an attorney on as well. I know the lead attorney had one on, especially, and I had him on a bankruptcy attorney on. But the problem here is, does she have the money, and is it worth Chris paying $100,000 or more to litigate this case? And ask yourself a question: if you had $200,000 in the bank and someone made these defamatory claims against you, how important is it to spend that 100,000 on someone that's not worth it? I would say expose them, put them out there, as I've done with two people, and I might have to do it with one other person. Sometimes you got to expose people for the bull crap. And I would say this for these young brothers and sisters, but particularly brothers, and this is not like the manosphere thing, but you have to, in this day and age, you have to cover your behind. You might have to make, like it's certain things you can do to cover your butt. If you have any inkling that that person can't be trusted, one, you probably shouldn't have them around you. But two, if you do, make sure you have certain things in place. Make sure you have certain things in place. Not to blackmail them, but have it in place. You might have to have a camera installed in certain places, because I do, or recordings, because I do, or there's different things you can do. I have things that I would probably never release until I have to. So when people run their mouth and everything, and I'm sitting there just smiling. I'm smiling like you don't know what that person has on you that can refute anything you say. It's nothing wrong with you covering your behind. It's when you use what you have to harm someone else. Okay. Well, hold on a second. Someone said you are a journalist and you can't spell fair. I don't know what you're talking about. Maybe it is something in the cat. Oh, ooh, that might be a typo. Excuse me, it might be a typo. Guess what? Hold on a second here. Hold on a second here. It might have been a typo. It was. It was a typo. Calm down. Calm down. Even some of the smartest one make have typos. So here, are you happy now? That's fixed. We fixed that already. What are you, goddamn hall monitor? It was a typo. Come on. Don't get mad. Yes, I meant fair. Fair. I made actually three ways of spelling fair. Fear, Fair, Fare. Okay? You want to test me? Oh, we really want to do that? Do we really want to have a spelling challenge here, spelling bee test here? There are three ways to spell fair. It was a typo. Calm down. Some people just go, "Oh, I got him. He spelled fair wrong. He spelled fair wrong. Was he talking about trying to jump over not to pay his fare, or was he talking about the fare that he's going to bring upon you if you jump in my chat with that BS again, or should I just be fair and just let him go? I get it. Right. I'm looking at that too. Right. Okay. Right. Hey. Hey. So we can have fun now. Um, so yeah, I think that you should take precautions as a man and as a woman, for the most part. It doesn't just work one way. Because if someone's trying to take advantage of you, you got to have proof to substantiate that. You know, if nothing ever happens, then you have it, and then nothing ever happens. But look at the situation with the people who came out and made claims against Bill Cosby 20 and 30 years ago. Do you keep archives that long? Well, I keep archives for a long time. I have digital, I have all kind of archives because I just think it makes sense. Uh, but don't bring it out like to use it against someone, unless it's to defend yourself. Like let's just defend yourself. And I would say that there are people right in today's age that will use use the internet to build their platform, their presence by making false claims. And it happens. It's just weird. People will go on the internet to make up all kind of stuff just to build their name, their reputation. And then when the person that you try to attack to build your reputation, they turn the table on you. Now you're looking crazy. You know, you're looking crazy. So you got to be careful because some people will. And then there's other situations where they may not handle you. They may go after you and not use the legal. Everyone doesn't go the legal way. And you got to think about that too. Some people will, because you did that, they may come after you differently. So I just say, just do people the right way. Like you're trying to file a lawsuit of $20 million. You have no basis for it. No basis. You got to do your homework. Before you file a lawsuit, attorney, you do your homework to make sure it has some basis. Make sure it tests, it can pass the test. Ask the right questions. Because if I was the investigating the preliminary for that case, I would have already said, give me all the communication you've had with Chris Brown. Let me see everything you had with Chris Brown. Don't hold anything back. Don't hold, and especially text messages that can be easily subpoenaed. So she didn't do her homework. She didn't do her homework. She didn't do her homework. And I don't know if it was to intimidate him to settle, because a lot of times I've seen that too, that they will file the lawsuit just to get a settlement. I'm suing for 20 million, but if I can get 500,000 and we can sign this case has been resolved, then it's been resolved. Sometimes you might have to do that, especially if there is any possibility that you might have crossed the line. Sometimes you might have to do that. But in this case, before you even go that route, make sure you have a basis for it. Because now the attorney is looking crazy. Because we don't know who the girl's name is. Chris knows his name, and I don't think he's gonna put the name out there. But the attorney in that case, it's looking stupid. She's looking stupid right now. It's no defense for that attorney to say, "Well, I believed her." You believed her based on what? What did she tell you and show you for you to believe her? Did she have messages or some kind of evidence that you actually did what she said you did, you didn't even do your homework. You didn't do your due diligence. Of course, you keep text messages. And I'm gonna tell you something. This I want you to think about what I'm about to tell you, and just remember I'm saying this today. Say, for example, you, me, and someone else, two adults, consenting adults, were communicating. Two consenting adults, and this is a mutual communication. It's a communication where one may initiated the one part and the other person responded, and then it was all mutual. But then when it that relationship goes south, then you're mad. In the case of Chris Brown, you come out and start making false claims about a person, or try to suggest that something happened that didn't happen, or try to say something was there that was never there. Then you have to protect yourself. You have to protect yourself. While you want to rely that in the case that there are police involved, that they do their due diligence and investigate, but sometimes they don't. Sometimes you look at the name of the person and they have a high profile, then you may say, well, at least I get my name out there, or maybe this could help my career, or maybe this can intimidate that person to maybe want to pay. No, 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 no. A recorder is cheap. You can buy a recorder for pennies. And there are other ways you can do it. I'm not going to give you all my techniques because I got techniques out the wazoo. Like, I got techniques. But there are ways you can protect yourself, man or woman, in the event something happens. Because people are not just taking your word. You just can't take a person's word anymore. Because that's proven to be not the smartest thing. You got to protect yourself. You have to. Like people say, well, I don't really need to do it. No, he ain't gonna do it. No, she ain't gonna do that to me. I feel comfortable. I love her. I love her. I think she's gonna do the right thing. I'm with her. And then 6 months later, you're filing for divorce. They're making up all kind of claims against you. Protect yourself. Just do it. You just like you lock your car when you get out your car. You set your alarm when you walk out your house. Protect yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. I know we all want to move on trust and everything. You'll know in your heart of hearts when you can really trust someone to the point where it's all good. You'll know that. You got to get to a certain point before that trust is really kicked in. You cannot initially trust people just on, just like that, especially when you have a lot to lose. And then here's the other problem. They were talking about in that communication, it was some talk of discussion about drugs. It's not, the suit is not going anywhere solely. The case has been dropped. The lawyer dropped the case, but there was some discussion about drugs, ecstasy or E. Now, I don't do drugs, so it could be another. Is it another drug called E? The fact that they were doing drugs allegedly, that's another issue. So now you guys are under the influence, and that's the other thing. Just think about this. I'm not trying to help nobody's case, but I'm just saying that if drugs are involved or alcohol are involved, then that doesn't really help the situation. People go out, they have drinks and everything, and things happen, but it has to be consensual. It's not like it happened. You applied someone with alcohol, then you just, she was saying no, no, no. She was saying no, 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 before you had alcohol, and then you gave her alcohol, and then now she's okay. She's no, that's not no, no. She said no. She said no. Now, if it's a situation where you both went out, you both had, you have a connection, and you actually say, listen, this is something you want to have. At this point, you got to ask. You cannot assume it, dude. Is this something you want to do? If they say, nah, not really, or they say maybe, and they say yes, then then that means you have a understanding. But just to use some type of inducement to have sex with her is just kind of weak. If you need to use any type of inducement just to have sex with somebody, like here, take a pill, or that's weak. That means your game is weak. Okay, I'm gonna read a few comments. Right, ambulance chaser. Exactly. That's why I said, Tina. Yeah, that was the ambulance chasing move. And try to sue me, lawyer. Try to sue me for saying that. You failed in your job. You were the way you handled that. It was awful. You fired. You said I don't want to represent it anymore. You probably shouldn't have represented it in the first place if you weren't doing your homework. Yeah, it was awful. It was awful. And your name is associated with taking like I just had I just I don't know. Yeah, and it's just sad that that we have to have these conversations with our sons and our daughters. I have more daughters. I have one son, but we have to have these conversations. Like one, don't put yourself in a situation that you're going to regret. But two, adding drugs and all this other stuff to the equation. We both getting high, and I didn't really know what I was doing. That's you can get convicted of stuff like that. You know, you can get convicted of stuff like that. The person, you can't have sex with someone that is under the influence. Especially if you gave her something like, yeah, nah. That's why when I hear guys rapping or saying put something in someone's drink, I'm like, what are you talking about? You got to put something in someone's drink to get them to. It's just weird. It's just weird. And when I go, for example, when I go to like if I'm in the bar, I don't go to a lot of bars, but when I go to a bar to have a drink or something, I will put like a beer Heineken. I'll put the tissue in the bottle, and if I go to the bathroom, I'll ask the bartender to hold it by them. That's how I move. Or if I'm in a restaurant and I've ordered a drink, I will place a tissue like over the drink and put a special marking on the glass, like on the tissue, so I know if it was disturbed. I'll know if I set the glass right there and I put a crease in a certain position, I know where I put that crease at. So if that crease is missing, I'm not drinking it. Or if I open a bottle of water and it doesn't pop, I'm not drinking it. So these are some of the little things that people don't really think about. But you got that, like, I'm just, I might be a hypochondriac as well because I'm just not taking chances, and I think ladies shouldn't take a chance either. A lot of ladies go to these clubs and they put their drinks down, and you got weirdos coming to the club, and their only attention is to, do something messed up. Yeah, you got to be very careful. I know it seems like we are over sensitive, but we have to be. Well, anyway, enough of that. Chris, you gotta don't put yourself in the same in situations like that, and you're good on this one. You just gotta be careful moving forward. That's all. Lastly, let's go with the Jussie Smollett. Jussie Smollett in his unfortunate situation. I say for unfortunate because now he has to do 150 days in jail, 30 months of felony probation, $120,000 fine. Oh well, 125,000, 25,000 to the state, and 125,000 the restitution. Well, I knew I knew from the inset that this case was not going to be a win for him, just based on once the brothers came out and said he paid them to do this. I knew it's done. What I didn't understand why Jesse couldn't just come out and say that, he wrote that really hard. He wrote that these guys were trying to harm him. He played that really hard, and I think that outraged a lot of people uh, because why would these two black men that obviously knew him that they would set him up for this robbery and put a noose on his neck that Jesse had on his neck while being interviewed by the police. That would have came off my neck right away. It would have came off right away. Why are you walking around with a noose on your neck trying to tell your story? So most people knew that the case was not going to be a win for him. At this point, you just you just did a hoax. Hold on a second here. Let me do something here real quick. I see something here about the. Okay, just block that person. There's someone trying to put a virus on the. I don't know what they're trying to do. Trying to. Anyway, we knew Jussie was probably guilty. I even said to him during the him coming out of Cook County Jail in a video, I said, Jussie, why did you lie to the people? You know, because I just said that because it felt like it was obvious that the story it was a hoax. But he should just came out at some point and say, listen, you know, I know it was embarrassing. You on Empire, the show was struggling. You were trying to get some more. The show was struggling at the time. You guys remember Empire was struggling. 50 Cent was making fun of the show. Taraji was chiming in on 50's attacks on the show. And Jussie might have been trying to put more attention onto the show, you know? And it was not a winnable case. It was not a winnable case. I wish it didn't go that far, but yeah. So now we hear yesterday the judge in the case listened to all the people talking in favor of Jussie not going, getting probation, and there were a lot of people saying some good stuff about him. But I think that this judge, in particular, was trying to clout chase off of Jussie's name. I'm gonna say it, Judge. You were doing the most. I get you was trying to, let him know how, the impact he made, but you were doing a lot. You were doing a lot with this Jussie Smollett. You guys have to believe that this judge was just doing too damn much. Too much. And you were going from at one point, if you were following the judge's speech, 1 minute he's up here, the next minute he's here. Okay, Jussie's not going, he's not getting no time. Then he's getting time. Then, okay, Judge, what are you going to do? Come on, you dragging this thing on for a long time. You're basically berating him. Everyone in the world knows that he screwed up. The world knows he screwed up. But you're berating him. You're injecting Jesse Jackson. You're injecting the LGBT community. You're injecting civil rights. And you're literally dragging this man who has already been dragged by the public. You're doing the most in your sentencing. And nothing that you said will change the fact of what Jussie did. Your job is just to give him a sentence that's fair and just. Well, I don't think it was fair. I think the probation was fair, but sentence this man to jail, into jail for 150 days in county jail. He says, I could sentence you. Then he says during his Gettysburg speech that I could send you to state prison. I can sentence you up to these amount of years in jail because you've been convicted of 5 felonies. Yeah, I get you can do all that, but there is fair and just that you is supposed to do. There are also cruel and unusual punishment that is part of the Bill of Rights. So you weren't going to give him a cruel and unusual punishment for a crime that he really hurt himself, basically. He hurt himself, basically. Those cops are still going to work. And they made overtime on this case. And I get it, it's taxpayers' money. But the way you were giving this speech to Jussie, it was like you took it personal. You were acting like the psychologist, the sociologist, and you should, you were, and they're gonna trust me, they're gonna appeal this case. And the things that you were doing kind of was evident that you were doing the most. When I tell you, I sat there and listened to him. I'm like, all right, Judge, what is the damn sentence? Like, come on already. We know what he did. He got convicted of in the 5 felonies. They're gonna have to get that off his, they're gonna have to do something to get that off his neck. Because those 5 felonies, while they all happen in one incident, those 5 felonies are serious. So he has 5 felonies. That's a lot. That's more than you can, You got 5 felonies on your name. People think that five felonies you can do. You can't do a lot. And this is a state case, so like it would have to be the governor of Illinois that would have to give him a pardon to get those felonies off of him. That's important. If they can succeed in that, which I don't know, because Illinois is not, I don't know if they would do that for him, just for him. He obviously broke the law, but to sentence him to jail, county jail, then part of his probation is he can travel anywhere to work. He just has to call in. The sentence of 150 days was excessive. And people will say, no, it should have got more. No, it was excessive. There are cops that have killed people of color that got off for less, got probation. This guy lied on himself. He did a hoax for attention. He was crying out, or maybe he has some mental issues. But to put him in a I don't know. I don't know. I just feel that the judge just did too much. And I don't think he should have got the time. I think he should have got the probation, pay the fines, pay whatever it costs for them to litigate this case. And, but the judge is taking this, I'm the 20s, I'm the Martin Luther King of the court. No, just give him his sentence. He already realized this. So what I'm saying is, and this is for people who've never been in jail. I'm not talking people, career criminals who done their bids and did 10 years. And I know you said 150 days is not a lot, but people could die in the jail in 1 week. They can get murdered. He's definitely going to have to be put in protective custody. Don't put him in general population because they're going to try this guy. What I'm saying is that he could have got probation. Don't make it. You give it up. First of all, you're going to be in a county jail with some of the worst of the worst. The worst of the worst that have not been convicted, but they've been accused of these crimes. So I don't know what the Cook County's, segregation policies from people who have actually been convicted and people are waiting to go to trial. But if they don't put him in general, if they put him in general population, yeah, he's going to have a problem. And I get it. He left, but when the judge said the sentence, he said the first thing he said, "I'm not suicidal," and he did that so they know that they need to handle him with kid gloves and not put him in a situation that was going to get him killed. So he doesn't want to have, he want to make sure people know that he ain't trying to kill himself. If anything happens to him, they did it. They did it. They did it. He didn't do it. They did it. And I feel him. Man, people say you said they're not gonna do nothing to him. I don't know if you know a lot about the penal system, but they will try him if he's in general pop. These cats will get a name for themselves by trying him. Trust, this is how the culture is in jail. They will get Brown, they will extort him, they will apply that pressure. He would have to be paying for people's commissary. Are they going to try him? Rest assured, Jussie and General Pop, they're going to try him. If anyone, I don't care if he's in there for 60 days, they will try you. Let me tell you a story. Back in the day, juveniles used to go to a place called Rikers Island, and they used to go to a facility called C-74. You can Google this. Just Google this. They used to go to a facility in Rikers Island called C-74. It was a place where juveniles went to when they were detained for committing a crime. And the minute a juvenile walked in the C-74 building, they will have other juveniles or young teens that will look at that juvenile as prey, not P-R-A-Y, but P-R-E-Y for those who are checking the spelling, as prey. And they will see if that person is wearing some nice clothes, nice sneakers. And the first thing they would do when he walked in or she walked in the cell would be to size him up. And when they size him up and they've realized that, yeah, he's prey, they will beat him up, take his sneakers. And that's days after you get in the jail. And they do that in Rice Street, and they do that here in Georgia. They will size someone up and they may become prey. This is what happens in jail. So for those people who say 150 days is nothing, I doubt it's very serious that you can do that time. And I think some may think it's a piece of cake to just do that time. Some people some people don't know how to fight. They don't know how to defend themselves. They don't. They don't. They don't. So if you're a female, would you like to go have the same experience as those chicks on Orange the New Black? You might. You might have done. I don't know. But yeah, 150 days is still a lot. The judge should have gave him probation, and that's it. Next time, give him the jail time. Next time, give him the jail time. Because what value would it serve for someone who's actually done things to help the community? While this was just awful, but he's done a lot to help the community as well in his, charitable work and so forth. I know you'll say he deserves his time. I get it. But guess what? He hurt himself. He didn't hurt another person. He hurt himself. He directly hurt himself. I mean, having 5 felonies on your record, having to be on probation for 30 months, having to pay a fine of $125,000, $145,000, yeah, having to do all that, he's going to think about what he did. I wish he would have said something in his favor, but I get it. He wasn't going to say something in his favor during the sentencing, because then he probably would have, not had a great opportunity for an appeal depending upon what he said. I get that. That's posturing and it's strategy. You remember with Derek Chauvin, the man who killed George Floyd. He said nothing during his sentencing, and he was facing a hell of a lot of time, but he said nothing. He said nothing. He just said nothing. And probably he should have said something. Not that it would have brought Mr. Floyd back, but he should have said something to the family. In this instance, Jussie should have probably said sorry to his family, because they're the ones the most hurt behind this. Not that people out there just, being just commenting, but the people that he hurt the most is his family, his sister, his father, his brothers, his grandmother. Those are the people who really were hurt. If anything, he should think about what he did to this family. The judge gave him, the sentencing. I just think it was unfair. Everything else, it's all that. Yeah, he owns that. But the 150 days, while you think it's not a lot, he should have just got probation. That's my position, and I'm sticking by it no matter what. I think he's going to have a chance with the appeal. I think Jussie will have a chance with the appeal. I think he will have a chance. And they have 30 days to file once the judge actually signs the order. 30 days to file once the judge signs the order. And hopefully they have already thought about the what if scenario if he was sentenced to this jail time. So hopefully the appeal has already been done. I get it, Tang. I get it, Tang. I get it. He could have got he could have got a whole lot of time. I get that. But then that would have probably been cruel and unusual. His professional life, I don't know if it's No, I don't think it's as someone a part of the media, I don't think his professional life is over. I think that he's actually going to do. Hold on a second. Hold on a second, guys. Hold on a second. I just got something here came in. Hold on one second. I got it. Just got an interesting message here. Oh, sorry, guys. Ooh, that's an interesting message. Okay. Hey, 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 Leak you. That's my friend. Yo, don't mess. You mess with Leak you mess with me. Nicole, what up? That's right. Well, always, it's what they do. The real winners obviously are the judge, the lawyers who have gotten paid, but that's what they do. That's their job. That's their profession. We can't say we don't need attorneys. Okay, Tang, I'm gonna read what you said, Tang. I have got chased down in the streets by white people. I had almost no friends in school because in I'm mixed and was called a half breed. What he done is to downplay everyone that has ever deal with real. I'm gonna say he what he did was foolish. It was stupid. It was reckless. It was dangerous, and it also may elicit some to respond, in a way that may affect others. I get that. I get that. But do you think 150 days or a year or 10 years is going to change the fact of what he did? I don't know. What do you think? SMI, I'm not telling you what the message is about. It's not about this. It was an interesting message. It was an interesting message. I'm gonna have to look into that message. I ain't gonna tell you what the message is about. I'm not gonna tell you. It wasn't about this. No, well, you said at the third. No, the appeal is going to run concurrent to his sentence. So what he can be, I mean, he has 30 days to appeal, but he still his sentence has started yesterday. Well, it started yesterday. Once they told him to take him in custody, it started yesterday. Um, so the appeal will not just be done for his sentence, but to get a new trial. To get a new trial, and if the judge if the high court grants him a new trial and they go ahead with this is ridiculous at this point. This is ridiculous. Someone said flagrant sociopath and rarely punished. What are you at? What are you? Okay, this message is moving fast. Okay, your thing went up there. The outburst now. Now we're gonna talk. Let's talk about the outburst. You making the point. The outburst was just it was pathetic. The outburst to I get the part where he said he's not gonna commit suicide. I get that part. But the fist in the air, no, bruh. That's not for you. You don't throw the fist in the air. That right there was just no. And then we're gonna talk about that fist. You didn't deserve to put the fist in the air. You didn't victor, and you didn't when that fist is in the air, it's something significant that you've done. You didn't do anything significant. So you had the fist in the air. It's no good. I ain't going. I can't spill the tea right now. The fist in the air was mm, interesting. I get it. I get the fist in the air. I don't get the fist in the air. I don't know what that right there was just dramatics. That was dramatics, and I kind of got mad when he threw the fist in the air. But I don't. I got mad that he threw the fist in the air, but I still don't think the 150 days was fair. But no, don't put your fist in the air. You know, I know some Panthers. I know some Panthers. I lost one of my friends who was a Black Panther. That when he throw the fist in the air, I know what he's throwing the fist in the air for. What he did, no, not at all. And I get that. You know, don't throw the fist in the air. Stop with the fist. That was just theatrics was just too much, Jesse. And that's why you need to be put in general pop. Now you're gonna have to be put in general. I mean not general pop. Put in segregation because yeah, you throwing that fist in the air when people fighting for real causes. That is pathetic. I get it. I get it. This is just a crazy case, man. Jussie's made he wanted the attention. He's made it even more crazy, and I don't know what he's gonna do when he get out, but he gotta be very careful because people are looking at him with the side eye. They're giving him the side eye, like and he might have to do his own productions, create his own movies, create his own situation. You might have to do that, because will Tyler Perry work with him? Maybe. Will the other let's just say whatever he does in Black Hollywood, I don't know if White Hollywood is going to mess with him, but I think that there's opportunity for him in Black Hollywood. There's an opportunity for him, and he has 150 days to think about what that is. But if you think you're hitting the last of Jussie Smollett, you're not going to hear the last of him. He's going to be here for a while until people get tired of him. Well, it's the fist. I'm gonna read this. You said it's not the fist. It's the sociopathy and narcissism. Gay Tupac. No, he thinks he's Epstein. No, no. Now he thinks he's Epstein. No, right. I mean, I get it, but the fist is a part of narcissism and his reaction to what he's done. But the fist, if you were born in the 60s, you understand. You don't be playing around with the fist. You know, you had some very influential people of color that fought for the rights of us, other people of color. You got Angela Davis. You got Stokely Carmichael. You have so many that have fought for us and used the fist as a symbolism of for change. And you have Jussie Smollett throwing the fist up for what? What did you do? What did you really do in this situation to show that you had the right to throw that fist up? So yeah, that's my thoughts on the matter. Guys, I have to tend to this text message. I gotta handle this business. I want you guys to think about what I said on all the three topics, and hopefully we can move this thing forward. And hopefully, none of this can happen if we take the right precautions and do the right thing. You know, Chris, stop putting yourself in positions where these things can happen. Bank teller, go ahead and reread that training manual and then confer with your employers as to how you can make better decisions. And Jussie, see you in 150 days. Guys, thank you for tuning in. And definitely Fred Hampton. Definitely. Okay, let's see here. Oh, he's going to be good. He's going to be good. I agree. Toria, I agree. Was that you, Toria? Let's see. Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But he had, mm-mm. He's Jesse's going to be a lot of better off than you and I will be in 6 months financially because the deals are going to come in while he's sitting in jail. The deals are coming in while he's sitting in jail. He will be literally going hitting a set when he comes out. He's going to be okay. 150 days. Hey, I don't know. I just said the judge probably went a little overboard. That's my. I'm gonna see what you're saying. Okay, I didn't read all the comments. He is a damage and better create a new business plan during. I don't know. I think he's going back to no felon getting 9 to 5. He's going back to acting. I mean, it's not like he don't have money. He has money. Jesse has money. Don't think Jesse don't have any money. He has money. Jesse has money. He's gonna be all right. He can do so much. I know people who come home from murder someone that are doing good. But it was like manslaughter, not murder. It was murder, but it was manslaughter. So it's a self defense situation. I mean, it's just how you bounce back. It's the bounce back for me. How you bounce back in the situation. Let me tell you something. Jesse puts whoever takes the risk with putting them, people put people in movies for controversy too. People will put him in a movie because they know people are going to see it. And it's up to the producer and director to navigate him into uh roles. But he's going to be okay. I would bet that he'll be okay, assuming he comes out unscathed from this jail sentence. Yeah, but if he got anybody that cares about him in his inner circle, then they need to talk to him. They need to talk to the man and say, "Listen, you got this now." Especially if you lose the appeal. If you lose the appeal, you're definitely going to have to shift your position, guys. I got to go. I got business to attend to. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I don't know if I was out here a whole hour, but I appreciate everyone coming in, and I'll try to be uh, on here at least once or twice a month if I can. But I do appreciate you guys. I do appreciate all of you. I didn't take you out yet. I'm blocking some people. I just had to block somebody. Is that Head Hunter? Is Head Hunter here? I don't see. Oh, she didn't come. I don't know if I see her here. Okay. I'll read your comments later. But you gotta go.